What's up guys, this is Kitty Pop and today I'll be doing an anime review on Gintama episode 324 or Gintama 2017 episode 8. Let's get started. In this episode, I did not see the flashback coming at all. The whole entire time when I watched this episode, I thought it would be mainly focused between Utsuru and Umibozu's fight, and that's basically it. That the whole entire episode will be mainly about their fights and maybe a few flashbacks here and there. But this whole entire episode was just between how Umibozu's come to meet Kagura's mom, and I'm not gonna complain about it because it's cute as heck. I was like screaming inside. I was like, you can see how much effort Umibozu is trying to like get Kagura's mom attention, and it's just like so adorable, and I was like screaming inside. And then you see all of the erections joke. I was like, oh goodness Christ. I was like, oh goodness, because he was like they used the word orochi as like a word for like, you know, the penis, and it just like it really got me every time. But as much as I find the couple to be very cute, at the same time it's very tragic. I got like kind of teary towards the end because like we all know their outcome. We all know that Kagura's mom at the end, she died, and it's just so sad because they're so cute. I was like, I feel like this season, beside Kuzuno Hankai, like Scum's Wish, like that's quite a romance for me. But this episode, that was like enough romance for me this whole season, enough to fill up my whole heart. I don't know, it just like, it was so adorable. But you can see toward the end where she gave birth to Kagura, and it's obvious that she's really sick. She was like coughing out blood. And the fact that when she said, I can't live on any other planet except for this planet, at first I thought it was just like a metaphor kind of thing, like she didn't literally meant it, but I guess I was wrong, because I think something is special about that planet. Maybe that Atlanta, that source that Utsuru have, and that keep him like living for like thousands of years and like kind of become immortal. I think that is what kind of allows her to become healthy. Like that planet was filled with that type of energy, so when she was living on there, that's what kind of make her alive, what provide her energy. So when she moved to a different planet, like her body started to take toll, and like also she's giving birth to kids, man. That's like a lot of toll that's taken on your body. And then that energy drain, like she needs those. Like, I'm sorry guys, I swear, like I saw they like tell us the name like of that energy they have, and I just can't remember. Something start with A and it sound like Atlanta. I know I'm butchering up the name, but please forgive me on that. Anywho, I feel like from watching this episode, the way they're gonna take down Utsuru is because they have enough knowledge. I feel like Umibozu is gonna connect Utsuru to Kagura's mom, and maybe they have similarities, and then he might be figuring out like, holy crap, maybe this is the only way to defeat him and to kill him. So I think that's the only connection right here, or this is my theory, so I don't know how it's gonna turn out. But it's so adorable. It's like so freaking adorable where you see him, Umibozu is just like falling over heels with her. And man, that family, Kagura's family, their family, when people say their family is full of monsters, I did not expect their mom to be that powerful. I thought their mom is just like a normal Yato maybe, but I guess not. So their family is a bunch of monsters in a good way, if you know what I mean. And then at the end where you see how Kamui was saying he's the one that murdered her, and then the moment he said that, I can infer that Kamui understand what his mom's going through. Like he probably be blaming on his dad, be like, you murdered her, like you brought her into another planet where like she's already like dying off, and then on top of that you're always leaving her back constantly. You always tell her that I'm gonna be there by your side, but you're always gonna leave her behind. Like that's probably which led her to her death, because like think about it, she's her loved one just suddenly leave her, like she barely see him, and then like she's getting sick and she didn't even see him like seeing him at the very last moment of her breath. So maybe that's why Camille was really mad. Be like, you brought her to a different planet, on top of that you didn't even spend any time with her. So I don't know, this is my assumption. So I don't know how that's gonna go. But have you that soundtrack? I love Gintama soundtrack. I have older soundtrack on my iPod, and when they start playing the old Gintama soundtrack, the feels it kicks in, man. It kicks in, and I was like dying from the cuteness in there, and it just like feels so warm and cozy. Cause I expected Kagura's mom to be a bit on more of a happy side, but she's more on the opposite side that I have envisioned her of. Like, I have so many theories for this episode from just watching that. The fact that they stated so many times, like, oh, her face was really bored. Like, she looked at me with a, bored expression on her face. And I feel like that is somewhat similar to Isuru. Like, Isuru's face is really bored, like, because he never found an opponent where he actually have a hard time or difficult time battling with. So if you're like that, you kind of be bored. Similar, if you watch One Punch Man, it's kind of like similar in Saitama's case. And I feel like she probably is very, like, we all know that she's freaking strong, but she probably lived for a really long time, and she's probably really bored with life at the same thing. And and then suddenly now after talking about that, another theory come up. So this episode is full of theories. I don't know which one's correct. This is just a bunch of theories that I suddenly come up on the spot. But I feel like maybe with that bored expression on her face, like Utsuru is, maybe she finally decided it's time for her to die. Like, I think she want to move away from it. I think she obviously know that if she stay away from that planet, she's gonna die. She obviously know that, but she's willing to do that just for the sake of starting a family and being with the one who she really loves. So she's willing to sacrifice her life just to spend time with them, like have kids, settle down, and like have a family. I think she's really grateful for that, but probably Kamui didn't know. So I really don't know where the story's heading, to be honest. Like, Gintama is really unpredictable. It can take a turn anytime, but from the look of it, I have a big feeling that next week's episode will be very emotional, and I really need to get my tissue ready. So yeah. Overall, this was a great episode. I mean, that hype last week and then the hype in the beginning of the episode, oh my goodness, do you see, like, freaking Wubusu just like chop off like Utsuru's arm? Woo, that was like very badass. But the feelings I got in this episode was priceless. Absolutely love it. The soundtrack was amazing. Animation was pretty good. And I don't know, right now I'm feeling all warm and cozy because seeing how Umibuzu was like fawning over Kagura's mom, but then I kind of feel kind of bitter at the same time because she kind of died. Well, she did die at the end, so yeah. Overall, that's it for today's video. It's not really a review for some reason, in my opinion. It's more of like how many theories I got from this episode. So yeah, have a great day wherever you are, and adios, my friends.